I really truly feel like for the first time in all the websites I've always had or ever had, this is the one that is the most powerful, it's the most significant, and I really truly feel like it's the best. And not because of how it looks, right? I legitimately think that it is 3,000 times better than my last website. And the reasons I think will surprise you. Hey there, my loves. Welcome back to my channel and CPTV, the place for aspiring and growing entrepreneurs who want to turn their passions into businesses and their businesses into freedom. If you like the way that sounds, then you are in the right place, because every Tuesday and every Friday, I am giving you the golden nuggets, the actionable steps, the tips, the tools, and the strategies to become the entrepreneur of your dreams and turn that dream into a 6 or 7 figure successful business. So welcome or welcome back, whichever it is. As you know, I'm CP, Cheryl Perez, but my friends call me CP and you can too. And today I am so excited because I am going to share with you everything I've learned about what it takes to have a kick-ass website, right? Okay, so here it goes. I am just launched my brand new website, CherylCPerez.com. And I am very excited about this website, not because it's my first website or, because I helped build it or wrote the copy or whatever the case may be. It's because I really truly feel like for the first time in all the websites I've always had or ever had, this is the one that is the most powerful, it's the most significant, and I really truly feel like it's the best. And not because of how it looks, right? I legitimately think that it is 3,000 times better than my last website. And the reasons I think will surprise you. So let me show you exactly what I mean and exactly why I think it's so much better, because I'm actually getting ready to jump over to my computer and walk you through my old website and the new website, what the changes are, what the differences are, why we made those changes, and why I think it's going to have a much greater impact on my business and make me smile a lot more. So let's talk, before we dive into the actual website comparison itself, on what are some key things that I want you to keep in mind as I expose the changes that I made to my website and why. And these are some specific things that you may actually want to jot down. The first thing is, I've learned that in my business, I don't just want a CP brochure. You know what I mean? I want a website that has a purpose, that can provide resources to my audience, that can help support people and impact them, especially startup entrepreneurs or growing entrepreneurs or people who want to grow their teams. And so this website is something that I really think is different. Well, my traditional websites have always been these brochures, basically just all this stuff about me or what I do or my services or my products. And I didn't want that anymore. I wanted a website that actually served a purpose and provided people with support. And that's one of the biggest differences that I want you to keep in mind as I am exposing the ugly one to the not so ugly one. The second thing I want you to keep in mind is I didn't just want it to sit there and look pretty. I really wanted it to focus on helping me grow my audience. And that is very important. So you will notice when we do this walkthrough, the significant difference between how my old website did not support my goal of growing my audience and adding to my CPA Insiders. And this new website actually does that over and over and over again from the very beginning to the very end. The third thing that I definitely want you to keep in mind as I'm walking you through the changes is I don't want my website to just be sitting there telling a story or screaming at other people about me or my products or services. I wanted to give people the opportunity on the new website to actually take some action. And it's one of the biggest mistakes that I've experienced and I've done in the past with my websites. And the more I've learned and the more I've grown in my marketing expertise and experiences, and specifically in digital marketing space, I now know that it is critical that my website be designed around people being able to take action. So I want you to point out those three things because I really want you to keep them in mind as I'm doing the comparison for you. As I jump over on my computer and I do the comparison for you, you will notice those three things are probably the biggest differences in the old website to the new website. So let's get to work.
All right, guys. And now I would like to take this opportunity to actually walk you through the changes between my old website and my new website, and to really kind of give you an example of some of the things that I mentioned already were the reasons why I wanted to change and update the website. And I just want to walk you through and kind of do a page-by-page comparison about both of them. And I'm going to also reference the website checklist that is available for you to download in the description box. So please make sure you grab that because I really did use this checklist to solidify all the things that I wanted on my new site to make sure that they were there, that they were in there, that it was an actionable website, as I mentioned, and that the folks who helped me put it together and design it knew exactly what I was looking for. And so it's very important if you are going to do it yourself or if you're going to hire someone to do it, that you ultimately are able to use this checklist to make sure that you've got exactly what you wanted on there. So first thing is, I really just want to talk about my original website and the original domain. And there's like this huge story behind this domain name. But my original website was CherylCooperPerez.com. That's my full name. That's my maiden name is Cooper. My married name is Perez. And Cooper became my middle name when I got married. And so when I originally tried to get Cheryl C. Perez, which is what you guys all know me as in CP, it wasn't available. Like I had to go through a very serious negotiation process to grab it. But once I finally secured it, I swear I will never lose it again. But that forced me to actually go with a longer domain, CherylCooperPerez.com, and I can't stand it. It's just so long. And so I was fighting for Cheryl C. Perez, finally got it, but that just goes to that lesson. I already did a video on how to choose your business name, and in there, I really do address why it's so important to choose a good name and wanting to make sure that that domain is available. So I'll go ahead and link to that video in here as well for you to check out. But I talk about the name in there and how to choose it because of my own experiences. So I'm never teaching or telling you guys anything that I haven't already experienced, which I find to be quite interesting. So first things first, CherylCooperPerez.com is my current website. As my new one goes live in a little bit. So one of the things that it talks about, and part of the reason why I hate it is, let's just start with the branding. Like when you take a look at this text that I'm showing you right now, and the actual way that the text looks, the way that the letters are shaped, this little blurb down here, if you notice, like all the text on my old site it kind of communicates a brand. And I really, really hated it. I mean, these words honestly are like, this text itself, I'm not even sure which one it is at this point, but it's all different. And to me, it feels very, and I don't know about you, but it feels very like, thick and bubbly, right? These letters, the way that they're shaped and what they feel like is very thick and bubbly. So to give you an example of how much I wanted it changed. So now you notice the actual brand text for Cheryl C. Perez Brands, which is a brand of various companies. Obviously, you guys know if you've been watching CPTV, this text speaks more to me. I wanted it to be more modern. I wanted it to be sexy. I wanted it to be sassy because that's who I am, right? I'm sassy. I'm in your face. And I felt like this old text, as I'm showing you right here, was just a little bit more formal and, a little bit more rounded and bubbly and thick, and that is not something that I wanted to communicate. That is not who I am. So even in the text, this is very formal and kind of the script, and I just was like, would look at it and say, this really just isn't me. I mean, and all the text on here is like different, no joke, and it drove me insane. Well, all of my new text on the new site is sassy and modern and more down to earth, and more approachable. Really, it's less formal. And so that was a huge change for me, and why I wanted to make sure that it was included in the new site, and that I was very, very specific about what I wanted the text to look like and the brand that I wanted that text to communicate. So again, if you haven't seen my video, which I'll link to on developing and creating your brand, even the logos and the text and the fonts that you use, they clearly communicate something about you. They clearly communicate your personality. And so when choosing it, it is really, really important that you find a font that communicates what you want to convey. And because Cheryl C. Perez is a brand of companies and I'm the brand, I wanted it to be my personality. I wanted people who visit my site to really feel and understand my personality. And so this text, I feel, really describes that a little bit more. As well as even how the headings go, right? Because like work with me, that's something that I would totally do, or get in touch versus contact me. It's a lot more informal. I also wanted to make sure that what my beliefs and what I stand for was very clearly communicated. And obviously we've got the professional pictures on the new website, which I'm very excited about. And so I wanted to make sure that I could at least talk about that brand piece first. So going back to the old website and really talking about my unique service proposition and making it clear and visible on my site. So yeah, a little bit. I think I did that a little bit. More in this section here that you'll notice that I'm pointing to right now, this section. I do communicate what the unique value proposition is, but not really about what I actually do and who I work with. It really just kind of addresses it in one sentence, and then I just go right into, you need help. That's why I created these programs, blah, 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 blah. It's about me, and my programs and what you can ultimately work with me in. And then it goes into more of my programs, and then more of the programs themselves, right? So I feel like I really skipped quite a few steps in that. So if you'd like to take a look at my new website, however, it really speaks to my unique value proposition very clearly, very immediately. It talks about my beliefs. I believe in entrepreneurship and small business. I believe that every human being who has the desire to create their own destiny should be inspired to pursue that dream. And I believe if you take that leap of faith, you deserve to have someone taking that leap with you, helping guide you to the ultimate landing zone. I mean, that is at the core of who I am. And right here, it talks about, are you ready to escape an ordinary life? Let me show you how to live a life of passion and freedom running a business you love. So right off the rip, my unique value proposition is listed there. And then it goes even more how I can help you, and focused more on the actual audience itself and less on this page, as you can see, compared to my old website, me, my programs, me, right? New site. You. This is what you need. This is how I can help you. This is what I'm seeing. And then it gets a little bit into other aspects of things. So also the next thing on the checklist that it talks about is, do you have several testimonials on your website? And if you go back to my old website, I've got one here, right? One that's right here that you can see that's right here, which is okay, but it doesn't even really jump out as a testimonial, which is crazy because this is also a testimonial that's not even really clearly seen. But I get tons of testimonials from clients, and I just did a really crappy job at making sure that they were communicated onto my website, versus my new website. It's all over the place. If you take a look at my homepage, there's a huge one that's kind of highlighted right then and there. My CP Speaks page, it talks about my speaking engagements, my speaking career, and then it also gives you additional testimonials here from different people. If you go into my Work With Me page, there's more testimonials even in there where it talks about how you can work with me. And then obviously my Get in Touch page. So I just wanted to make sure that you guys could see and have an understanding of the difference between making sure that you've got several testimonials that are clear and that are out there for you. My old website, very crappy job at doing that. It was more of a brochure about me, which isn't what the purpose of a website should be. And that really is what I wanted to focus on changing as well.
Hey, real quick, sorry to interrupt because I know it's really getting good, but I did want to make sure that I let you know that you don't necessarily have to remember all the stuff that I'm showing you right now by yourself. I'm actually going to make available to you a free website checklist. And that checklist, which you can download below this video, just click on the link, it'll take you out, you can grab that checklist, is going to actually provide you with a lot of the details specifically surrounding what I was looking for and things that you're really going to want to include in your website design. So go ahead, grab that checklist, and let's get back to it.
So now when you move to the next section, which is, do you have a clear call to action? Well, on my old website, no, not so much, right? The call to action here is just to keep reading more about Cheryl. The call to action here is just to learn more about Cheryl. And even here where it's contact me, you can't even click a button to get in touch with me. I've had people who have called my office, who have made appointments with me, and they're like, I really want to work with you because I had to jump through 75,000 hoops just to get in touch with you. And I was just like, appalled by the entire thing. There's no real true call to action. There's no book me. There's no get time on my schedule. There's nothing. My news site, it's everywhere, right? Right here on the homepage, the call to action is becoming a CPA Insider. This is where you would enter your name and email address. You automatically get added to my CPA Insiders group, a free group for you to be able to join. And that is really my peeps, right? I send them special notices. They get sneak peeks at things. They get special training videos. They get special stuff. And it's just, like people who have gone out, reached out to me, who follow me on YouTube, who've downloaded various things. They automatically get added, or who've added themselves to that list. And so it's really important that the call to action is very clear, right? Very clear. And there it is right there. So that was really important for me to have that clear call to action. And then also the about page. So the about page that I had before, it would definitely is, my bio, the boring bio, honestly, that people read. And look how long this is. And it's also, if you read it, she went on to spend 2 years living and working all over Africa, blah, blah, blah. This is a third person bio. Someone else wrote it, and we basically put it on the website, and it's talking as if I'm not even a part of this conversation. It's also has zero in here. If you go into my old site, which once the new site launches, if you try to go to it, it's probably going to redirect you to the new one. But in any case, it just kind of gives you an idea of who I am and what my experience has been. And it's just really, really focused on me. It doesn't connect with the audience at all. New website about me. So first it starts, I coach and speak to people who desperately want to start and grow a business and team that will allow them to experience the financial and lifestyle freedom that they deserve so they can live a life that they love and share their passions with the world. That's that unique value proposition again. I show them how to stop feeling stuck and frustrated once and for all, and I give them the tools to reach their goals for success without all the stress, wasted time, and wasted money while avoiding big mistakes along the way. So it doesn't even really talk about my experiences yet. And then you click on that button, takes you out to more about me, and it gives you more details about, with over 23 years experience, training and business coaching, blah, blah, blah. It goes into that. So it gives you a little bit more. And then it actually goes into 7 things you didn't know about me to make it even more personal, which I did not have before. So the 7 things I bet you didn't know. In here, it talks about my children and what I like to do outside of work. It talks about my babies, my fur babies. And then I also give, if you're dying to know more, here are 7 things you don't know about me. And these are funny little things that really only my closest friends and people who've been a part of my life and really know me very well would even know. So now it's on my website. And I love serving my community. It talks about my sorority. I'm deathly afraid of deer and actually have a house in the middle of a public park. So I have several deer families that I'm horrified to see. That is the honest to God truth, guys. I absolutely hate it. I'm also obsessed with makeup and fashion from time to time. Do I do a little side gig beating faces? I love gardening. I love sports, Cleveland Browns. So it talks about more detail about me and who I am. And it's really clear, even in that says, I love all sports, but my favorite is football. And I really am one of those women that will get absolutely pissed if you interrupt any of my Cleveland Browns games. That is the truth, guys. So just don't mess with me on Sundays. And yes, I said the Cleveland Browns. Don't judge me. Okay. So the About Me page is more about what I do, but also that unique value proposition that needs to be included, why I'm so passionate, and also, being more personal with my audience, which this was very formal and stuffy. This is not my personality. I am not formal and stuffy. This, how on the other hand, really does let you into my life. Those are my babies right there, my kids. And then that's one of my fur babies. The other one is all black. And so he's very difficult to see in photos. So I'm still working on that one. I'll get it updated for you. But I wanted to make sure that we talked about the about page because it is really important to be down to earth and to really communicate what you want your audience to know about you outside of the professional so that they can connect with you. Also, do I have a clear services page? So on my previous site, it talks about the CCP Impact Program here, so sort of. And then when you go to learn more, it does bring you to a separate page, which I would say just breaks down more in detail about the two particular programs, coaching programs that I have in working with small business owners. But it doesn't talk about everything. So the new site, when I go into my Clear Services page, you can click right on Work with Me. And it breaks it down for you. You can hire me as a coach, a business trainer, or coach. You can book me as a speaker. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. Those are all different ways that people can work with me. And again, that clear call to action, contact me here. And again, another opportunity for people to join a CP and to become an SCP Insider. So that's really important. And if you go back to the home page itself, once you click on Your Dream Life Starts Here, it's another testament to the services that I provide and who I am. One-on-one coaching, one-on-one training, combined VIP training and coaching packages. And then here, if you want to actually book a free strategy session with me, which is like 30 minutes of free coaching advice for you, you can click that button and it actually takes you out so that you can begin to schedule yourself and you can book your own free strategy call. So that's one thing that I wanted to update because now this is a website that encourages people to take action. And that's like the most important piece, right? It also, how I can help, if you click right here, it starts to describe the specific audiences that I serve and the different types of services that I ultimately can deliver. I work with people who are starting their businesses that they can book a free strategy session. I work with people who already have businesses and they're ready to grow it and to solidify it and really take it to that 7-figure mark, right? And then I also work with business owners who want to build their teams, build their HR and grow their teams. And so that's also described here, which obviously from the old site was missing, right? It's still clean and it still talks about stuff, but it doesn't really bring what my services are. It doesn't say that I'm a coach. It doesn't say that I'm a trainer. It doesn't say that I do HR coaching and consulting. It doesn't say any of that, right? Although it does have this little way down here at the bottom, this little button, but it just wasn't out there enough. And then the last thing that the checklist really talks about that I wanted to make sure that I called your attention to really quickly is make sure that links to all your social media profiles. Ain't none of those. All the way down here at the bottom, my old site, new site at the top in the menu, every single page, at the bottom, every single page, at the footer and in the header, every single page, you can connect with me. So if you click on it, automatically take you to my Instagram, my LinkedIn, my YouTube, my Facebook, and you can obviously request me as a friend or follow my pages. And also, way for visitors to contact me, absolutely get in touch is right here at the top, and contact me is on every single page. So when you get in touch with me, it actually takes you out to my help desk. And when you do, you just enter your name and information, exactly what you're looking for, and the subject line, you send it, and it automatically comes to my team to review and get you on the schedule and all that kind of good stuff. So that is very exciting because before you couldn't even find out how to get in touch with me. It used to piss me off so royally. But also, last thing I want to make sure that I address in the website comparison is the point on the website checklist that talks about, do you give away free resources? Ideally, you should give away at least some form of a free resource on your website because you want to bring value to every single person that visits your website. You want to make sure that you are serving them and that you are the people who come to your website who actually download something or take advantage of a freebie. That's your ideal customer. That's the person that you want to connect with, that you want to begin to develop a relationship with, and that you want to help. So if you don't have a way to capture that information, it's a wasted effort. So, old website, zero free resources here. Again, it was all about me, all about my programs, all about booking me, all about getting in touch with me, but nothing about giving value or bringing value to the people that I serve. And that was a huge, huge deal for me in making the decision on specifically what I wanted changed on the website. So, if you go to my homepage right from the get-go, all the way down at the bottom, it talks about choosing from all of my famous, very high demand freebies. Starting your business, here's a freebie. Jump starting your business growth, there's a freebie. And then building your HR and growing your team, there's a freebie. So anybody who wants to access my top requested actual freebie. So for instance, when you're starting a business, if you click get access, it takes you out to my Side Hustle to Freedom, the 40-page workbook. It's very high demand. I get asked for it all the time. All you got to do is put your name and information in, and you will actually grab that freebie. Your Jumpstart Your Business Growth takes you out to my growth planning workbook, which I get questions about all the time, and you can grab that freebie. And then this one actually takes you to your recruiting toolkit, which is very, very helpful for folks who are trying to put together interviewing questionnaires and rubrics in order to grade interviewees. This is a great gift for them as well. So I wanted to make sure that I had that. They also open up in separate tabs so that people can actually come back to where they want to. And then even aside from that, right at the top, you can see I've got a page here for free training, and it includes some of my top ranked training videos that are provided through CPTV. And it's just, you can access the videos directly from the site. There it is. You can watch your video. You can obviously go in full screen directly from my website. You can click on any of them. And then obviously, if you click this button, it's going to take you out to my YouTube channel where you have access to the over 50 training videos. You're going to want to hit that subscribe button. And then it's going to take you, sorry guys, it's going to take you directly out to the over 50 training videos that I currently have available for you to scroll around. So yes, I added free resources to be able to bring value, to give that value to my audience, to connect with people, but ultimately to do what my goal is. And that, again, going back to that unique value proposition from the very beginning, it's every human being who has the desire to create their own destiny through entrepreneurship, for me to be able to take that leap of faith with them and have someone guiding them to that ultimate landing zone. By all means, go out there, take a look at the about page, use some of the information. I am okay with you actually taking down some ideas and jotting down some ideas of things that you might want to tweak or change about your website, or that you might want to add as you create your website. Feel free.
You're back. Awesome. So hopefully you can see why I made some of the changes that I made, and you can see what I'm talking about, and you're able to apply some of those same lessons, some of those same changes to your own website if you're in the process of changing it or even building your very first one. If I had known then what I know now, I would have had this website 20 years ago. So by all means, take all these tips and use them. And don't forget to grab that checklist, because that checklist really does summarize all of those tips, and it gives you something to walk away with, give to your web designer, your developer, or even for yourself as you're developing the content and the copy that's going to end up on your website. I also encourage you guys to head over to CherylCperez.com. Take a look around, see where some of the copy is and the pages and how they connect and what I'm asking for and what I'm providing. See if that helps you as you develop your website as a new entrepreneur, as an aspiring entrepreneur, or as a growing entrepreneur who may need some tweaks or a new website. And until next time, my love, enjoy CherylCperez.com. Take all that you want. I'm giving you permission. Well, don't copy and paste my stuff specifically, y'all. That's copyright, and don't go too far. But definitely take the ideas and the tips and tools that I shared with you today. Go out, live your website dreams. Have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend. Mwah! And I will see you next time.